been filed against me. They were going to basically like hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Hello, welcome into a Friday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. Appreciate your time. Quite an honor to have your attention as we start the show today. And look forward to chatting with you. And you can respond on social media, comments, whatever. But yeah, looking forward to it. We're in the middle of a commercial, and then we're going to play the intro music, and then we'll be coming out.
965-1433, 800-965-1433,
earthquake story.
800-965-1433.
Here we are. Here we go. I hear the music playing. We're just about ready to get started. Nice to have you with us as we begin a Friday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Special treat for you today. 1 hour from now, we'll be talking with Matt Mayer of OpportunityOhio.org. Typically, Matt joins us on Thursday. Yesterday, I did not make connections with Matt, and we'll rectify that issue today. And we have more Democratic profanity. We discussed that's a new strategy of Democrats. They think a potty mouth will get them more votes. We have a very, very devastating earthquake this morning in Myanmar. Aftershocks felt as far away as Thailand. A skyscraper tumbled in Bangkok. We have no up-to-the-minute death toll, but they fear between 1,000 and 10,000 people have died in that. We'll have details on that, perhaps this segment, perhaps the next. But we start with two things. Elon Musk and his DOGE team were interviewed by Bret Baier last night on Special Report. Now, I know it's really going to be disappointing. Picture the DOGE team in your mind, right? Based off what you've been told by our Democratic legislators. DOGE team is a bunch of 20-ish people, grungy, ne'er-do-wells, but software geeks, right? Haven't accomplished anything in life except maybe they worship at the knee of Elon Musk. They're fascinated by a guy who can shoot a rocket to the moon and rescue astronauts that NASA couldn't figure out how to rescue in 8 months. Fascinated by a guy who started PayPal, revolutionized how we pay for things online securely. Fascinated by a guy who built an amazing electric car company, which was fine until the Democrats decided that cutting government spending and taking money away from non-governmental organizations, which accidentally or not accidentally on purpose, funnel tons of money to Democratic causes. See footnote 1, Stacey Abrams. We were told that these kids hadn't accomplished anything in their life. And why are they cutting government? They don't know anything about this. Then last night, we got to look into who Elon Musk's team is. Steve Davis is an actual rocket scientist from SpaceX. Joe Gebbia is the guy who started Airbnb. Is that a successful enterprise? I think it is. None of them looked like they were in their 20s. In fact, none of them looked like they were in their 30s. They all looked like they were enormously successful and smart people. And they shed light on just how dysfunctional our government is when it comes to allocating money, spending money, and I would say wasting money. Because the examples of the fraud, abuse, and just outright stupidity were numerous in nature, and we will share many of them with you as the show unfolds. But sticking with that topic, but bringing it down closer to home, wasteful spending. Here's an interesting story from today's Columbus Dispatch. The Ohio Civil Rights Commission will pay a $650,000 settlement to 2 employees who filed discrimination lawsuits against the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. Now, you might be saying, if there's any place where discrimination should not occur, it is in the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, because wouldn't that be established to police and prevent and punish instances of discrimination? That's my understanding, apparently limited, of what a Civil Rights Commission does. Who are these people and what do they allege? Because they got 650 grand. And oh, by the way, there's a third outstanding lawsuit. And I don't mean it's a great lawsuit. I just mean it's still not been adjudicated or settled, as in this case, where these two cases were settled before they were heard in court. Now, let's pause. Why do you think the state of Ohio would pay two, apparently, disgruntled employees? Why do you think the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, state of Ohio, lawyers all over the place looking at these cases, wouldn't you figure that they'd weigh the allegations made in the lawsuits and say, well, this is a bunch of nonsense. We're not paying this. We're going to take this to court. We're going to win it. Or conversely, at the other end of the spectrum, ooh, these details look really bad. And what are the records of these employees? Are they reliable employees? Do we have anything on them that we could use against them to show that they're unreliable, that they're liars and they're cheats and they're trying to steal money from the taxpayers of the state of Ohio? So that would be the first thing you would do. Is if you settle a lawsuit, it's usually because you deem it to be a pretty good decision to settle it, because what? You might lose it, one, and two, the judgment in court might be more than you agree to pay. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, the people who filed the lawsuit might be agreeable to settling it for numerous reasons. They might not want to go through the pain and the elongated court battle. And they also might say, I'm not sure I'm going to win this lawsuit, so I'll forego some of what I think I might get to take the sure thing. It's somewhere in between those two. It's a negotiation. There are reasons why both sides settle. But the state of Ohio most assuredly would not have settled this if it had a open and shut case in its own eyes. So what are the allegations against the Ohio Civil Rights Commission? Well, two female former employees accused the Ohio Civil Rights Commission executive director, her name is Angela Phelps White. So hyphenated last name, Phelps White. Phelps probably her maiden name, although I don't know that. They accused her of discriminating against them. Now, why would she be discriminating against two female employees? They say that she discriminated against them in favor of men because they say, Angela Phelps White said, "We need more males in these areas. I like my eye candy." I like my eye candy. Well, before I was not allowed to eat it anymore, really liked candy. Eye candy, not so much. But it appears the eye candy budget at the Ohio Civil Rights Commission is a little bit out of control, and we're spending almost $750,000, well, in excess of $500,000, to feed the eye candy budget of Angela Phelps White. Now, let's be fair. Here's an attorney for the state of Ohio, Joseph P. McDonald. He's the Ohio Civil Rights Commission's general counsel, which means lawyer's not a big enough title for him. That's what he is. He says the commission opted to settle the lawsuits based on legal advice. Okay, so again, the Ohio State of and Civil Rights Commission thought this case was a loser, so let's settle it. But he noted, these are merely allegations, and there has been no determination as to the merits of the case. Well, you settling it kind of speaks to the merits of the case. He says, we disagree with the allegations made. However, the matters have gone through the judicial process and the parties entered into an amicable settlement. Well, I bet the two people who were suing are quite amicable, because if you hand me $325,000, which I presume each one of them got, I'm going to be very amicable. Who were the people who accused Angela Phelps White of discriminating against them because they were not hot young men? One of them is Stephanie B. Deemers, the former general counsel for the commission. So The former top lawyer for the commission got booted aside, and now the guy speaking, who is the commission's general counsel, is named Joseph P. McDonald. I don't know what Joe looks like, but he might be the greatest lawyer in the history of the world. I don't know, but I just find it interesting. I'm not making any allegations. Don't you find it interesting that the former general counsel sued because she alleges the director said there wasn't enough eye candy, and now we have a new general counsel, and that guy's a male. Things that make you go, The other person suing, Lori Taylor, former regional director. It's not some low-level secretary. Former regional director. So Ms. Demers, the former general counsel, and Lori Taylor, former regional director, say that Phelps White discriminated against them based on age and sex discrimination, that she forged a discriminatory hostile work environment that included denigrating their performance, removing key responsibilities from them. In other words, she made their lives miserable on the job. Taylor, and again, her role was regional director, said Phelps White favored male employees over women and punished employees who challenged the inequitable workplace environment she fostered. Now, they noticed at the Ohio Civil Rights Commission that a lot of top-level executives, like the general counsel and the regional director, were leaving, and so they did an investigation. The chairwoman did the investigation, and when she presented her findings to fellow commissioners, one of them told her it was improper to investigate this.
A couple of showers beginning in the midday hours. High tomorrow 78. Sunday cloudy, remaining warm and gusty thunderstorms. Could see some downpours, hail, damaging wind, even an isolated tornado. High 71. A bit of rain on Monday morning, otherwise fast and breezy. High 63. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Ralph Drollinger, president and founder of Capital Ministries. I have the privilege of leading the Senate and House member Bible study every week in Washington, D.C. And I'm also the host of the new weekend program here on your radio station called Capital Ministries Weekend. Listen along as we discuss the crossroads between the Bible and politics on a timely basis.
Listen to Capital Ministries Weekend, Sunday mornings at 7:30 on 98.9 FM The Answer. This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. This new year, get out of debt now. There are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. In 2025, resolve to get rid of your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. For almost 20 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. To celebrate 2025, you can start for as little as $99 regardless of how much debt you owe. Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and a Christian-owned company. End the endless cycle of payments now. Take a stand. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially cut your monthly payments. Call Christian-owned Total Financial Freedom now for a free consultation at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605. 800-533-6605. Here's great news. If you plan on attending Christian University as a new traditional student this fall semester at the Circleville campus, you can receive a $5,000 scholarship for only $2,500. That's right, get a $5,000 scholarship for only $2,500. One scholarship per student, and all Ohio Christian University admission requirements must be met. Learn more at 989theanswer.com or call RMAT at 614-216-5049. Everybody's probably afraid of something, whether that fear is rational or irrational. I'm Bruce Hooley, here to tell you good news that if you were afraid that the MyPillow mega sale was going to go away before you could take advantage of it, well, MyPillow has extended the mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, you can save $40 on new spring MyPillow bed sheets in any size and any color. Save 30% on the brand new Mike crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years. And they do come in men's and women's styles, and they're made right here in the USA. You can get the 6-piece bath towel set for only $39.98. The initial qualities are low, so get them now before they go. and the best-selling standard MyPillow is just $17.98. Take advantage of the Megan Sale 2.0. Go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Bruce. mypillow.com, promo code Bruce. Don't forget, you get free shipping on orders of over $75 or more. So do it now. mypillow.com, promo code Bruce. mypillow.com, promo code Bruce.
ProView Remodeling, Ohio's #1 choice in sunroofs, windows, doors, decks, sidings, patios, porches, basements, and bathroom remodels. Call ProView Remodeling today and get 25% off or 60 months, 0 interest. That's right, 60 months, 0 interest. Call or text 7 days a week, 614-756-3140. You win with ProView Remodeling, 614-756-3140. Check us out at ProViewRemodeling.com.
April the 25th is a Friday night. That's the night we're going to be hosting Larry Elder, the sage of South Central, at the Dare Dutchman restaurant in Plain City. It is the latest Bruce Hooley Show 989 The Answer event where we can interact with you. It's fun to do the show. It's more fun to meet the people who listen to the show and to meet other people who share your outlook on life. Certainly, if you listen to this show every day, my guess is you don't do it to aggravate yourself. You do it to enlighten yourself, or maybe, I hope, entertain yourself. Larry Elder, I'm sure, has the same goal. But we're going to have a great night on Friday, April the 25th. And I know a lot of you are excited about it because we've already sold out the event. Or no, we haven't already sold it out. We've already almost sold it out. Sorry, don't want to panic you there. And I'm not trying to shine you on. I mean, the fact is these tickets are going fast, faster than any event we've had before in advance of the event. We're almost still more than 3 weeks out. But get your tickets. Includes a Dare Dutchman buffet. It'll be a phenomenal night. Jack Windsor, myself with Larry Elder on stage. Get your tickets, 989theanswer.com. I'm not like most people. You know how that old saying, I hate to say I told you so? I actually enjoy saying I told you so. And I told you in the first segment that my assumption was that the Ohio Civil Rights Commission existed to crack down on, prevent, and punish violations of civil rights. Turns out I'm right. The Ohio Civil Rights Commission on its website says that it is responsible for preventing and investigating illegal discrimination in workplaces, housing, and public places. Well, great. What's not so great is that the Ohio Civil Rights Commission has paid a $650,000 settlement to 2 high-level employees, one who was their top lawyer and one who was a regional director, because they were women, and in lawsuits they filed against the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, they say that the executive director of said Civil Rights Commission, Angela Phelps White, got rid of them, made their lives miserable because they weren't, they allege, they weren't men, and she said, I like eye candy. So she wanted men in those positions. Somebody internally became alarmed about the number of high-level people leaving and no doubt complaining and filing lawsuits. That person was the commission chairwoman, Lori Barreras. Problem is, Lori Barreras did something that she apparently is not allowed to do. She took it upon herself to conduct an internal investigation. And then when she presented her findings to her fellow commissioners, one of them told her it was improper for her to do this. Well, I don't know that it was improper for her to do this because, as I said earlier, there is a third outstanding lawsuit still out there, yet to be decided, yet to be settled. So we're going to be, if the lawsuit that's out there is deemed to be a lawsuit that the Ohio Civil Rights Commission wants to settle, based upon the $650,000 settlement given to the 2 other employees, again, a regional director and the top lawyer at the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, they each got, let's just say, $325,000. We don't know if they each got that, but we know the total settlement was $650,000. So I think it's reasonable to assume they split that right down the middle, even if they didn't. If the average settlement is $325,000, which it absolutely is in this case, that means that the eye candy budget, if this third case is settled, will approach $1 million at the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. So what can I tell you about Angela Phelps White, the director, executive director? I don't want to cheat you on your title. She was appointed on March 16th, 2020. She used to be a judge in Franklin County Common Pleas Court. Getting a picture? Prior to that, she was 13 years a magistrate in the Franklin County Common Pleas Court. She's gotten awards from the League of Women Voters of Metropolitan Columbus. I wonder how many Republicans have gotten. Says she's received numerous accolades and awards. I would add, paid cost the state taxpayers of Ohio a lot of money, although that's not in her bio. Member of the Year Award from the League of Women Voters of Metropolitan Columbus and Black Women of Courage honors. So there you go. Hey, wait a minute. I have a question. Don't we have a Republican governor and a Republican lieutenant governor and a Republican attorney general and a Republican state auditor and a Republican state secretary of state and a Republican majority, supermajority General Assembly, meaning we have supermajorities in the Senate and in the House? Why do we have a person at the Ohio Civil Rights Commission who's conducting herself in a manner in which the state of Ohio deems it a gain to not litigate 2 lawsuits, but rather to pay out $650,000, well on its way to $1 million? Why is that the case? Just asking. Just asking for a little accountability, because apparently I'm the only one who cares. Now, as for that earthquake this morning in Southeast Asia, 7.7 magnitude earthquake. There's a video of a skyscraper that was under construction in Bangkok, Thailand, toppling to the ground. There's video of a rooftop swimming pool in a luxury hotel. And when you look at the picture, it looks like this hotel it's all glass on one side, and it has like these amazing waterfalls on the side of the hotel. Those aren't waterfalls. That's the water from the rooftop pool cascading down the hotel. So in other words, the ground shook to the degree that the pool water, like bam, bam, slaps up against the edge of the pool and overflows and comes cascading down the front of the hotel. The U.S. Geological Survey issued a red alert estimating deaths between 1,000 and 10,000. Here's the quote from the U.S. Geological Survey. High casualties and extensive damage are probable, and the disaster is likely widespread. The destruction has already been evident hundreds of miles from the epicenter. And when you look at the photos online, it is really sobering to check them out. It's just piles of, it looks like Gaza after Gaza has been, righteously, not accidentally in an earthquake, just flattened. See people running away, fleeing, people in bathing suits, people in their pajamas. If you're in a hotel and this is happening, like getting out of the room and running. They've pulled 7 people out of the rubble, but untold numbers of people are still unaccounted for. This looks like the ash cloud from this looks a lot like that horrible day when the towers fell. People in Thailand, Myanmar, in a panic. So this is going to be a developing story. Roads are buckled, ancient shrines, pagodas, religious edifices all toppled, parking garages collapsed on top of each other, buildings collapsed on top of each other. This is a horrific earthquake. And the casualty numbers will no doubt be catastrophic. So that's very, very sad. And we'll get more clarity on that as the day unfolds. But I don't think there's a lot of on the scene reporting yet, because having, of course, had the news on here all morning long, I got in here at about 8:15. It was a good 2 hours before there was any video of this. So I'll hope for the best, but it looks like a very dire situation with that earthquake.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The Trump administration has filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court. The administration wants to resume deportation of illegal Venezuelan immigrants to El Salvador. A newly released economic barometer, closely watched by the Fed, shows inflation remained elevated last month, but consumer spending did recover a bit from January. States of emergency declared as rescue crews desperately search for survivors of a powerful earthquake that struck Thailand and neighboring Myanmar. In South Texas, it's flooding that's the issue. Devastating flooding following torrential rains that dumped so much water on the Rio Grande Valley. There have been many high water rescues. On Wall Street, stocks deep in the red this morning. The Dow is down 521 points. The Nasdaq 366 points lower. More details at srnnews.com.
Don't settle for less. Your dog deserves the best. That's why we created Dr. Fido's, a plant-based dog food topper packed with 40 ingredients made with whole foods from carrots to bananas. And the best part? No cooking, no chopping, just stir it into their food. Go to drfidos.com and subscribe today and save $20 a month. Vet developed, dog trusted. This is the human-grade dog food topper that gives you peace of mind. Dogs can't write 5-star reviews, but their owners have.
I've always thought that dog food seems like a little bland, and so this helps give it a little bit of flavor. There's something interesting for them, and yeah, they really love it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Go to drfidos.com and subscribe to save $20 each month. That's drphytos.com.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6. Tune into School Voucher with Jack Winter, Central Ohio's top drive time show. With policies and personalities. Your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 The Answer. Human trafficking is modern day slavery, and it happens in our own communities. Victims can be any gender, age, or race. Join the Department of Homeland Security's food campaign to learn how to recognize and report this heinous crime. Visit our website at www.dhs.gov/bluecampaign. That's www.dhs.gov/bluecampaign. Your second look could be their second chance.
When you hear the term living better, what do you think about? More money, a bigger house, maybe a yacht? What about how you feel physically? How do you wake up each day? How do you sleep during the night? What activities you can and cannot do? When you feel good, life is good. So if pain is affecting your life, see how Relief Factor can help. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. It doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or even eliminate pain. How do I know? Absolutely am a customer. I take Relief Factor daily. No lower back pain for me anymore. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Give their 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Just one phone call, 800-4-RELIEF, 800-4-RELIEF. Relief Factor, relief wherever you're hurting in 3 weeks or even days. Relief Factor can give you a chance to rediscover the true meaning of living better again. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF for the one and only Relief Factor.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. All smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
Discount Shopping Club, 989theanswer.com. Click on shopping and navigate your way there. It's where you save money on all things like mattresses from Mac Mattress Outlet, furnaces from Temperature Pro Columbus, and tuition. If you haven't made up your mind yet where your student is going to go in the fall as they begin their college, or as maybe they're looking for a place that is more in line with your values, I'd suggest Ohio Christian University or Valor Christian University, both Central Ohio options. Both will deliver a Bible-based education, a worldview that is in line with the values that you most likely hold dear if you're a listener to this show. So you spend $2,500 and you get a voucher for $5,000 off tuition. Even my aging rudimentary math skills tell me that that is a $2,500 savings to you, only available in the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com. Well, it was very interesting last night, 30-minute plus interview, Brett Baer with Elon Musk and a team of Department of Government Efficiency software engineers, guys who are working on varying and different levels of cutting government waste, making recommendations. Of course, the Democrats hate DOGE. They hate Musk. They want to impeach him. They say he's illegitimate. Musk runs cover for Trump. How long will that be in vogue? And I kind of picture, if you're going to root out government waste, it'll take you 4 years at least of Trump. Elon Musk says no, won't take that long. But here is what Elon Musk has established as, of course, the goal of the Department of Government Efficiency.
Our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. So from a nominal deficit of $2 trillion to try to cut the deficit in half to $1 trillion, or looked at it in total federal spending to drop the federal spending from $7 trillion to $6 trillion. We want to reduce the spending by eliminating waste and fraud, reduce the spending by 15%, which seems really quite achievable. The government is not efficient, and there's a lot of waste and fraud. So we feel confident that a 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services.
I think that's realistic too. Of course, Democrats don't want that. They're howling and howling and howling, and the phrase, Shakespearean phrase, "Methinks thou dost protest too much," is quite applicable in this situation. If you're howling about, no, I can't cut that, it's almost like you're objecting because you have some personal stake in it, which of course is quite likely that Democrats do. Now, when Elon Musk dug in and got a look at federal spending, Brett Baer asked him what surprised him the most.
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that. For just the survey? $1 billion for a simple online survey. Do you like the national park? And then there appears to be no feedback loop for what will be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It's like insane.
Did you follow that? Yeah, there are online survey tools. You can pay to have a survey done. They'll send it out, geo-target people on their phones. Look at a survey, they'll tack it on. You see, you read news websites or whatever. There's polls on there. SurveyMonkey, as Elon Musk mentioned, is one of those. There's a ton of them. But not only did the government pay, he said, $1 billion for that survey that an online vendor would have charged like $10,000 for, but it was just basically wasted money. They didn't do anything with the survey. They didn't have a strategy for it. They didn't implement any policy based off it. They just did it like, I wonder what people think of Yellowstone. I wonder what people think of, this, that, or the other. Oh, just ridiculous. Because there has not been accountability for years and years and years and years and years. So it will take years to root this out, right? Nope, not according to Elon.
Well, I think we will have accomplished most of the work required to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion within that time frame.
So in that time frame, 130
yes.
days, and the process is a report at some point at 100 days? Or?
Not really a report. We are cutting the waste and fraud in real time. So every day that passes, our goal is to reduce the waste and fraud by $4 billion a day, every day, 7 days a week. And so far we are succeeding.
$4 billion a day, every day, 7 days a week, and so far we are succeeding. Great. Of course, Democrats hate it. Yesterday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., head of the Health and Human Services Department, announced that he was cutting 20,000 jobs at HHS. Oh, we need research at HHS. How are we going to live without doctors doing research at HHS? Well, that's not what he's cutting. Here's what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said he found when he reported for work at HHS and the strategy behind his cuts.
The agency, this is a $1.9 trillion agency. It's the biggest agency in the government. And during the Biden administration, President Biden increased its budget by 38% and increased the workforce by 17%. And by every metric by which we measure public health, health accelerated its decline. So putting the money and the personnel in there is not alone going to solve the problem. And what I found when I came to HHS was really a sprawling bureaucracy. We have over 100 communications departments. We should have one. We have 40 IT departments, 40 procurement departments, dozens of HR departments, and there's a lot of administrative ways. What we want to do is make sure, and that is where we're doing the cuts. We're going down from 82,000 personnel to 62,000.
That's astounding. Biden increased the budget at HHS, under which, of course, NIH and other Fauci, Rochelle Walensky, Francis Collins, Deborah Birx, people would have operated. He increased the budget by 38%. He's going, well, yeah, pandemic. Wait a minute. The pandemic hit the final year of Trump. Okay? Increased the workforce by 17%. See, this is a philosophical approach that government has taken down through the years, which is the way to solve a problem is to spend more money solving it. The Elon Musk approach to solving a problem, the DOGE approach to solving a problem, the Donald Trump way to solve a problem is to get more efficient, leaner, less wasteful. Okay? You don't need 100 communications departments. Who speaks for who? Well, you know, I'd make up a press release explaining that, but that's somebody down the hall's problem. Down the hall. Which floor? Because there's 100 of them. 40 IT people. How efficient do you think they're operating their software? If you have 40 different IT departments, not 40 different IT employees, 40 different IT departments, 40 different procurement departments. Hey, did you order that thing we absolutely positively need for the health of the American people? I didn't order it. I thought Bill was ordering. Isn't that under Bill's? How many people are doing their jobs well? How many people are monitored? Come on, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Democrats, remember, are fighting to preserve the system as it is. They're fighting to preserve the system as it is. Here's one of Musk's team. His name is Steve Davis. He's an actual rocket scientist, talking with Bret Baier about what attracted him to put his regular work aside and enter into applying his expertise to DOGE.
The reason I'm here, which is probably for many, is that I think the goal is incredibly inspiring. I think most of the taxpayers in the country would agree that in order to have the country going bankrupt would be a very bad thing, and therefore the country going not bankrupt is a good thing. That all of us are willing to kind of put our lives on hold in order to do. I think the thing that's special right now is we actually believe there's a chance to succeed, that there's an administration that's supportive and a great cabinet and just a great group that will actually make success a possible outcome. And I think that's, given the inspiring mission and given the non-zero chance of success, it was worth doing.
Well, I'm absolutely 100% behind it. I hope they can cut in real time. I hope they win all these lawsuits that people are trying to bring against them. Elon Musk is very optimistic about being able to accomplish this task. And he also says that the criticism of DOGE, which is painted as an organization that does what it does in knee-jerk fashion, fire, ready, aim. Musk says that's not true, that they're being very purposeful in what they're doing. And they're finding, he says it's not hard to find the waste, fraud, and abuse. It's really hard to do it in such a way that some overzealous federal judge doesn't block it, not just in his district, but throughout the entire country.
This afternoon, clouds and some breaks of sunshine. Becoming breezy, look for a high of 76. Partly cloudy, mild tonight, low 60. Clouds and breezy, warm day tomorrow. A couple of showers beginning in the midday hours. High tomorrow, 78. Sunday, cloudy, remaining warm, a gusty thunderstorm. Could see some downpours, hail, damaging wind, even an isolated tornado, high 71. A bit of rain on Monday morning, otherwise clouds and breezy, high 63. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
This is Josh Pick with Aptus Wealth Management. The U.S. and the world have certainly changed a lot in the last few years. We're facing money dangers that we haven't seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem. Interest rate increases have made purchases like cars and homes seemingly impossible for some, and retirement looks like a scary proposition. For many, it appears to be a dire situation and has left them paralyzed and fearful. You're not helpless, and there are ways to gain back control. At Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation. Whether you have never met with a fiduciary investment advisor before, or you just want a second opinion, we're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
And before by the Sentinel Group. Has video game addiction shattered your family? You're not alone. Today's $200 billion video game industry intentionally hooks kids, fueling isolation, chaos, depression, even suicide attempts. According to a recent American Psychological Association study, compulsive gaming significantly increases the risk of severe depression and self-harm among teens. Your family may qualify for significant compensation. Call now for your free consultation. 800-856-9519. That's 800-856-9519. Big gaming profits while families suffer. Enough is enough. It's time these powerful companies answer for the harm they've caused. This is not a class action. Your family has individual rights, and your voice matters. Fight back, hold them accountable, and protect others from experiencing the same pain. Call 800-856-9519 now. Again, 800-856-9519. Your call matters. Call 800-856-9519. That's 800-856-9519.
This March and April, Temperature Pro is turning up the heat on kindness. For every pack of diapers our team picks up during a service call, we'll make a contribution to Bottoms Up Diaper Bank, helping families in need right here in Central Ohio. When we come to service your HVAC, you can help too. Just have a pack of diapers ready for us, any size, any brand, and together we'll make a difference, one diaper at a time. Need a repair, tune-up, or new system? Call Temperature Pro, proud supporter of Bottoms Up Diaper Bank.
Important Medicare news. DOGE chief Elon Musk says all government spending is up for review, and the House plans to cut $800 million in healthcare costs. These cuts could hit Medicare and Medicaid. Now, Rob Finnerty is on Newsmax tonight, revealing the real Medicare crisis. Over 65 million people depend on Medicare, and Rob Finnerty says hardworking Americans that paid for it should get their full Medicare coverage. This week in his series Medicare in Crisis, Rob Finnerty looks at Medicare and why it faces bankruptcy. Big changes are ahead for Medicare. You need to watch Rob Finnerty tonight. Find Newsmax on all major cable systems or download the free Newsmax app on your phone now. Millions are switching to Newsmax because we're fighting for you.
Looking forward to a couple appointments tomorrow with people who have interest in new flooring. I would love to put you on my calendar. And if you were interested in replacing the carpet or converting a flooring from, say, carpet to hard surface, like beautiful luxury vinyl plank flooring, you can start the process by going to brucehooley.com and clicking flooring. That way, plug in your information, a way for me to contact you. We'll chat. I'll come to your home, we'll measure how much you need, and we'll talk through the process. And trust me, you'll like it because you'll save money, you'll get it installed faster, and you'll get it installed better. I can explain to you how we do business and how long we've been doing business. I'm affiliated with a company that's been in business for over 35 years and has a long track record of success with many satisfied customers in the 3 years that I've been doing this. So it's a great way for me to interact with you, help you, serve you, and I'd love to do it. So go to brucehooley.com and click flooring, brucehooley.com and click flooring. Well, it turns out the success of DOGE at the federal level has tweaked the interest of members of the Ohio House of Representatives, and they have their very own DOGE caucus, not as high profile as Elon Musk and his team in Washington, who sat for a half-hour interview last night with Bret Baier. That was great television because we've been told that these are 20-something software geeks, haven't accomplished anything in life, and who are they to try to shut down the U.S. Agency for International Development? Who are they to take a hatchet to Social Security? First of all, it's not happening, Social Security Department, but in a Social Security Administration. But anyway, here, at any rate, here is Elon Musk on the criticism that his DOGE team has received.
Usually when they attack DOGE, they never attack any of the specifics. So they'll say what we're doing is somehow unconstitutional or illegal or whatever. We're like, well, which line of the cost savings do you disagree with? And they can't point to any. And we list them all on doge.gov and the DOGE handle on X. And you'll see just outrageous things, one outrageous thing after another.
Like, you mean the aforementioned DOGE is coming after Social Security? I mean, how often have you heard that, right? The Democrats just keep saying that, oh, they're going to take your Social Security. How many times has Donald Trump said, we're not touching Social Security, I will not touch entitlements? And yet Democrats continue to spout this nonsense.
It's absurd that Elon Musk is trying to eliminate billions of dollars from Social Security.
Elon Musk and President Trump have set their sights on cutting Social Security.
Their goal is clear. Destroy Social Security from within.
No. Musk was asked about that by Bret Baier, as were others who are part of Musk's team. Here is a gentleman by the name of Aram Maghdassi, who is a software engineer who is taking a deep dive into the Social Security Administration. And you'd be shocked, maybe not, to find out what they've discovered.
I'll say the two improvements that we're trying to make to Social Security are helping people that legitimately get benefits, protect them from fraud that they experience every day on a routine basis, and also make the experience better. And I'll give you one example is at Social Security, one of the first things we learned is that they get phone calls every day of people trying to change direct deposit information. So when you want to change your bank account, you can call Social Security. We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters.
40%.
That's right. Almost half.
Yes, and they steal people's Social Security is what happens. Is they call in, they say they claim to be a retiree, then they convince the Social Security person on the phone to change where the money's flowing. It actually goes to some fraudster. This is happening all day, every day.
All day, every day. But don't look at it, because Social Security is sacrosanct. It's also on its last legs. It's going to be gone within 10 years if we don't do something to correct these problems. And again, Musk is right. They criticize the effort. They're not criticizing the results. Some of the results they're criticizing. They didn't like to see USAID go away. They didn't like to see it folded under Marco Rubio at the State Department because USAID was funding a bunch of non-governmental organizations, NGOs, which were doing things that government organizations can't do. Isn't that convenient? Well, there's something here we'd like to do, but it's against this bothersome old dusty document on my desk called the Constitution. I know what we'll do. We'll form a nonprofit, and we'll fund the nonprofit with taxpayer money, and the nonprofit will do what we're not allowed to do. Wait a minute, they couldn't do it unless you funded them. Yeah, well, shh, don't tell anybody. So back to the state of Ohio and the House of Representatives and their own efforts to enact a version of DOGE. You can join this voluntarily. It is the brainchild of Ron Ferguson of Wintersville. He's the DOGE caucus vice chairman. And any Republican, well, I think anybody can join it, but Democrats are not going to be interested in joining us because A, they don't play well across the aisle, and B, they don't have any interest in saving the Ohio taxpayer any money. To join the DOGE caucus in the Ohio House, you have to pledge to at least once a year propose a bill that will reduce the size of government, eliminate reckless or excessive spending, streamline compliance time with regulatory overhauls, or reduce the taxes on everyday Ohioans. Now, they are working in concert with, but not at the behest of, State Auditor Keith Faber, who was asked by NBC4 if this is overkill. After all, Mr. Faber, aren't you there to see, spot, and eradicate waste, fraud, and abuse? And Faber said, no, I think the legislature actually needs to frankly strengthen their oversight role. And candidly, one of the benefits that the state legislature has over Congress is they're not as dysfunctional as DC. Why is DC dysfunctional? I should have started that discussion long before I only had an hour left in the show. But at any rate, they are dysfunctional in Washington. Why? You know why. There's a bill being proposed by Corey Mills from Florida, where if you ever enter the country illegally, you can never re-enter the country and apply for citizenship. That's a great law. Will it ever get approved? No, it won't. Why? Even if it carries every Republican vote in the House, it will never get to the Senate floor for a vote. Why? Because of the filibuster in the Senate, which I don't want to get rid of, but which is used by both parties to block legislation from ever coming to a vote. You need 60 votes to get a thumbs up on voting on something, and we don't have 60 Senate votes on the Republican side, and the Democrats didn't have 60 votes, and that's a good thing, because if they did, we'd have a packed Supreme Court, and we'd have federal election rules, which would enable you to just walk up, sign your name, and vote. Think of that. You could have a very busy election day if the Democrats had their way. You could vote early in the morning here, 7 o'clock when the polls open. Drive on over to Indiana, walk in, vote. Scooch on down to Kentucky, vote. Make it up to Pennsylvania, however many states you could get in by the polls closing. You could vote in all of them if the Democrats had their way. So we need the filibuster. But the Ohio House DOGE does not have that problem. That's why Faber says it won't be as dysfunctional as Washington, because in the Ohio House, we have a supermajority of Republicans. In the Ohio Senate, we have a supermajority of Republicans. So here's an idea. Oh, this just came to me. Oh, brilliant. We have an Ohio Civil Rights Commissioner who likes eye candy, according to 2 lawsuits that the state of Ohio decided it couldn't win. So they paid 2 high-level employees who quit because they were, in their mind, discriminated against, and the state of Ohio must have not disagreed or didn't think it could win at court. So we paid them $650,000. Hey, DOGE, Ohio, how about you get rid of the executive director of the Ohio Civil Rights Commission? Or how about you just get rid of the whole shooting match? Eliminate the department. Obviously, it's not functioning well. You can reestablish it. I'm not against civil rights, but I'm against paying $1 million, which is where they're headed with a 3rd lawsuit out there that they'll quite likely settle as well.
Planning for retirement is no small task. If you don't know where to start, join Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group every Saturday at 10 and 2 for Retire Ready Ohio. Rodney shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 10 and 2 to Retire Ready Ohio with Rodney Peters of Peters Wealth Group. The firm offers
that'll do it for today.
Advisory services are offered through Peters Wealth Group.
Appreciate you joining. Have a great day.